Hello and welcome into a very special edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast right here on PHNX. We are joined by a very special guest. We got Kevin Ginkel in the house. Of course, I am your mayor, PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. And you know Jesse, he's your thunderstick and your vice mayor. Kevin, thank you so much for being here, man. It's been incredible to watch what you guys did in the postseason. And I imagine it was a whole lot of fun for you guys being in the World Series there, 1 month ago?
Yeah. It feels like it's yesterday a little bit. Starting to like come down now and just appreciate the ride we went on. I've got nothing but good feelings about just like how this team played this year, and hopefully we can run it back again.
Was there a point during the postseason run where it just felt surreal that this was happening to you guys, or did you just kind of feel like we're locked in right now and this is us at our best?
To be honest, I thought we were very confident. I think going into the Milwaukee series really kind of set the tone where we just wanted to come out and play our best brand of baseball. And like Corbin had a really good series. All the guys in our lineup played really well. And then obviously the pitching did its part too. But I think that really kind of set the tone and gave us some confidence going into, the next series. And honestly, no one really expected us to beat Milwaukee. And then I think with like LA coming up too, I think we kind of punched them in the mouth first game, and it really kind of changed, I guess, the narrative, of that series.
Yeah.
To what extent do you guys feel like you fed off some of the doubts that were in the media or just sort of floating around on social media or whatnot? That seemed to be kind of a big narrative throughout the entire thing.
I think, we kind of accepted like our role where it was like, yeah, we're the underdog, right? Like a lot of these teams have just bigger payrolls than us and everything. But I thought as a team, like we really gelled together. It was different than like other teams I've been on where we had veteran leadership, but we also had like young players that were contributing, and obviously the pitching did its part too. But I think for the most part, like everybody enjoyed coming to the park and like going to work, and it was a really good mix of guys, and I think that kind of helped carry us, through the postseason where, no disrespect to other teams, but like those teams have bigger payrolls, right? Like they're gonna, they got Corey Seager, you got Mookie Betts, like there's different players like that, and so I think for us, like we accepted our role and like everybody was gelling together from, just from my opinion, could have been different, but I really did think that everybody enjoyed coming to the park and getting to work.
Torrey seemed to be such a huge part of that, obviously. Like just, we know how he is with you guys. We know how much, whenever we talk to anybody, everybody always glowing things to say about Torrey. But like
we saw the clubhouse speech.
We saw the clubhouse speech. We got it on the shirt right here.
Sure.
Right? And
Yeah.
That definitely seemed different than what. And it's not to say other teams weren't, maybe privately doing that, or maybe some of those celebrations or speeches weren't going on. But it's just like Torrey felt like not only was he such a motivator with that kind of talk, but also, like Jesse said, with using some of the, the Mad Dog Russo stuff, using some of that stuff out there is just kind of fun motivation for you guys.
Yeah, I think when we clinched the postseason, he did this whole speech, and it's on T-shirts now, I think, where it's like, let's effing party.
Yeah.
And it was like, whoa, like we didn't really see that side of him before. And so it was really cool. And I think each time we moved on, I feel like he probably developed some confidence too, just with this team and like obviously with ourselves, like we're trying to go out and do our job. But it was cool to see that personality, I guess, pop out a little bit too. And it's been a long time coming. It's been a few years since this organization's been in the postseason. So
we've got to talk about what you were able to do for this team during the postseason. 11 2/3 innings, 8 hits, no runs, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts, 0 runs throughout the entire. How?
There were a few times I think throughout that postseason where it could have gotten, a little hairy, but
sure.
For the most part, I just tried to control my emotions and not, get too far deep and just really just stay focused and locked in pitch to pitch. And I think just with like my stuff, I can get a lot of guys out. And so I just felt like I was clicking at the right time. Pitch to pitch, I was locating as best as I ever have really throughout my career. And, I was getting some good swings and misses, weak contact. And, I just felt like whoever was up there, I just felt confident enough to get him out. And, it was for me personally a very memorable postseason.
Well, and you also released a lot of those emotions after you would get out of the inning, right?
We saw some of those emotions.
That's some of our favorite stuff, and I'm sure a lot of fans would agree. But you didn't seem to ever have a problem like showing how excited you were in the moment, and that fired us up. I ran. If Saul tells you that there's property damage that you owe around here, do not believe him. It was me. I'm the one that ran through the walls. It might have been because of you, but I ran through the walls. But it got people fired up.
Yeah, I think like with my role, I'm out there for an inning or so, and for me it feels good to go out and when I'm in the moment, I'm really trying to focus and do my job as best I can, and then. There were just times like even if I had like bases loaded and I'd get out of a jam, I'm like, that's huge. It's like, that's huge for our team. And I think sometimes, doing it in the right spots, I guess for me, helps. But, I think showing that passion, showing that fire, Paulie does it too. Like there's a lot of guys in our bullpen that show it. And I think, you see the results, I think, come with it too. So, yeah.
What does it feel like to strike out the side in the 8th inning in Game 7 of the NL? There were obviously a lot of incredible moments for you throughout the run, but that moment in particular just stands out for me more than anything else.
Yeah, that was special. I think for me it was just a very cool moment. Because I think any big leaguer or any ball player wants to be in that role, right? Like they want to have the ball and in a tight game and. I just kind of accepted it and was like, I control what happens here if possible. And if I execute my pitches, I'm going to make them look silly because they were behind. It was Game 7. I feel like they had pressure on them.
Yeah.
And they're a really good club too. And it just felt like, any kind of wiggle room you gave them, they were going to jump on it. So, they did a really, it was just a tough series in general, but, I just tried to focus, make a pitch to pitch. I'll say this: the Bohm at bat was I felt like set the tone where he slammed his bat, and I was like, I got him right where I wanted. I got him right where I wanted. And it just kind of it developed some confidence with me. So it was cool.
And that confidence, it seemed to grow on you guys. I mean, I know like your season, you guys had a lot of ups and downs, right? You guys had your struggles in July and part of August there, but like it really felt like. You guys kind of came together because of all of those ups and downs throughout the season. But that run in the playoffs, it felt very much like, again, that first game against Milwaukee, that wild card game. I think that was the game where you came in the 7th up 4-3 and tossed 2 scoreless. Like that game seemed to like just completely change people's perception of what this team could do in the postseason.
100%. And I think just the way we played baseball too, I felt like we'll talk in the bullpen about, the game and just the little stuff that no one really else sees. And I just felt like we played really good defense. We run the bases really well.
Yeah.
It's this new style or old school, I guess, style of baseball that I don't think a lot of fans are used to. And we're not on that national stage really. So I think for the first time, people are really starting to see how we played. And it puts pressure on teams, right? If we're able to run the bases really well, it puts pressure on the catcher, to throw guys out. And, moving up 90 feet, gets you, closer to scoring. Yeah. So it's like just those little things I felt like we really did a good job. And, credit to our coaching staff and, everybody just kind of buying into that.
Yeah.
What's it like pitching in Philadelphia in front of that? I know. Yeah. I feel like we talked about it too much at the time, honestly. I think it was entirely overblown.
Yeah.
But I still have to ask, when you're warming up, are you hearing some pretty crazy things that you were sort of led to believe?
Yeah, it seems
it's a different animal over there. It is. A lot of guys see it and playing it, and it's different. When you're not playing well, I mean, you kind of see it, I guess, on social media or whatever, like their fan base, right? They're just super passionate fans.
Yeah.
And I think for us coming into that series, we just kind of accepted that, you know, they were going to be honest, like, but it's a good thing that they're honest because we're really good too. And so I think just trying to take the crowd out of it as much as possible was huge. Those first 2 games, they punched us in the mouth a little bit, but I felt like when we came back here, the way we responded was really well. We slowed down their lineup a little bit, and we kind of got them on their toes. So, but yeah, they're fans. I mean, I'll sit in the bullpen. They just don't care.
I was gonna say, you hear a lot of it out there, right?
They don't. Yeah, like they let you know.
I mean, they're kind of towering over you.
Like,
100%. That bullpen is very clearly put in that spot for a reason.
I'll tell you a story. There was I'm warming up, or I wasn't warming up. I was like stretching in the bullpen. This is like earlier in the game, and some fan thought I was a pitcher in our bullpen. And they kept saying the guy's name, but I'm like the only person, you know, around.
Yeah.
And, you know, I tell the guy, I'm like, yo, I'm not that guy. I'm Kevin Ginkel. And the guy's like, oh, you know, like starts talking and says some stuff or whatever. And I just kind of like try to ignore him. And then I turned around and I blew him a kiss. And so I'm like, you got to be smart, you know, picking and choosing your spots. But I kind of like that. Yeah. It's fun, you know. It's like, you know, they're just passionate fans, like I said.
Well,
so.
and I've heard that they yell some crazy things. Like, not only is it obscenities, but they'll also like attack you for your whip in July or something like that.
They go
like,
deep. They go deep. You know, like just like. I didn't hear too much about like family stuff, and that's a good thing. But
mostly suspected that.
Yeah, Seawald
was like, I'm sure they're doing research about my family now.
No doubt. And like, you know, I think they've got like, you know, social media accounts where it's like they try and grab stuff from whatever, you know, interview you're saying and throw it in the fire and just, you know, see if, you know, the fan base gets fired up. So. Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, we know baseball is a business, but I want to say one moment that got us pretty upset was on June 11th. You tossed 2 scoreless innings during the regular season for a win in Detroit, and then on June 12th, you got sent down. That must have been a little hard to deal with, considering you were not performing like in a way that we would typically think a pitcher would when
you had
like
2.77 ERA at the time. I think something like that.
Yeah, it's part of the business. You know, it was hard for sure. I thought just, you know, for how long I'd been here, you know, I thought like, you know, they were going to give me an opportunity, but you know, I get it. Like, there's no disrespect to all our pitchers on our team. I like all of our guys, and it's a job at the end of the day. And you know, I thought, you know, a lot of things could have happened, right? I mean, I could have been sent down and, you know, complained about it, but I just felt like just go down there, reset, you know, focus on when I need to pitch. It's a little different, you know, mindset, I guess, going down there. You know when you're going to pitch, and it's a little different. But, yeah, I just tried to not get distracted by that. And when I did get an opportunity to come back up, I'm like, all right, I really got to just go out, do my job, focus as best I can, and let everything kind of take care of itself.
You wound up back in the majors just a couple weeks later. I remember you and I talked toward the end of the season about your conversation with Torrey when you first came back. What do you remember from kind of that initial interaction when you were back with the Major League?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into too deep of details, but for the most part, you know, there were some things we discussed when I went down that he wanted me to work on, and I felt like I did that. And you know, when I saw him, you know, he was appreciative and was like, "Hey, we saw, great job. You know, let's get to work." And you know, I think that was kind of in the past, I guess. And you know, I knew just kind of moving forward that you know, it was just going to be, you know, however I was going to pitch, like I was ready for it. I was ready for the opportunity.
Yeah.
So.
And you had a tremendous season, and even coming back up, you had a tremendous season. I know that there was that point where you got back-to-back saves on the road against the Braves, which seemed like a huge moment, not only for you, but kind of for the team.
Yeah. that was a fun series too. They were best team in baseball at the time, and I just felt like, going into that park with that lineup, Acuña was playing really well. I just thought he kind of sets the tone for that lineup, and I'll I had a little scuffle with him, which I don't know if you guys laughed, but that was kind of a funny moment. But I just felt like that was a playoff type series, playing against one of those teams, and it was fun. That was I enjoyed that series.
Yeah. That did seem like a big time, like, this is not how this works moment from you, where you just kind of had to do what you had to do in the situation.
I've talked to some people about it. I just thought that he was going to steal home on me.
Yeah.
And, I can talk about this now since it's over with, but I thought he was going to steal home, and no one was really covering third base. And I know we had a 5-2 game. I just felt like him, wanting to steal home. I just didn't want to get posterized.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want this guy to steal home because he can do that.
Right.
And so I saw him, he was, halfway down the line, and I saw him, I just kind of like walking back to the bag, and, no words were said really. But I was like, I was just kind of letting him know. I'm like, hey, I'm acknowledging you. You're really good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to,
I know what you're
run
going to
on
do
me,
here. And I want you to know that I know
don't
what
do
you're
that.
doing.
So
I know you're the MVP, but don't.
So it wasn't like he was acting as just like an irritant, and you just wanted to sort of like make a statement, like to, kind of get back over to third base. Like, you legitimately thought that there was a threat of him stealing home, in which case it probably made sense to make sure to chase him back to the base.
I can remember, it was like we had 2 outs. It was a 3-run lead, and I was throwing back-to-back games, and I just felt like, hey, like, we kind of have to like stand up.
Yeah.
Whether it's me, if I'm right or wrong, whatever, I just felt like we can't be afraid. And, we won the game, and, it was a good game. And I just felt like, look, I don't want the best player in baseball, or one of the best players in baseball to, just take off on me when I'm not looking at any scores. And then
sure.
That makes a lot of sense. No, plus, I mean, honestly, it's still the Braves, right? And it's like any kind of momentum that swings their way, that's a team that can all of a sudden,
no doubt,
things
really good
turn
club.
on you, right?
Yeah.
Well, and a part of, of course, kind of things, obviously there were some additions to the bullpen late in the season. Ryan Thompson came on, Andrew Saalfrank came up. Both of those guys were excellent. Paul Sewald in the trade with Seattle became just your guys' closer. And it seemed like once that happened, everything kind of fit into place. I know in talking to Joe Mantiply at one time, he said that's how he felt. Is that like once Sewald came over, did you feel like everything kind of locked in, or did it take a little while for you guys to kind of figure it out?
I felt like he brings that veteran presence, and he's very expressive in the locker room too. And I thought it was a good guy to bring to our club, where he has a little personality, and like he's a quality pitcher. He's been in the big leagues now for a few years, and we started some things that, after we'd win ball games, like he'd get up and speak, and it was like a player of the game moment. And I just thought he accepted his role, and he did a great job. And like you said, I think everybody kind of just fell into place, and everybody accepted their role. And different guys stepped up in different times. Like Saalfrank pitched really well. Ryan Thompson did really good. I mean, Joe pitched really well. There's so many guys that contribute. Even Castro did well. So it's like everybody's got a role, accept it, and be as good as you can be. So,
and that you guys became an absolute asset, one of the strengths for this team, not only there at the end of the season, but going into the playoffs. Obviously, it felt like Torrey really 100% trusted your group, and that's in cases where he even pulled some of the starters like Brandon Fott when he was having an excellent outing, just because, trying not to get through that lineup the third time through and turn it over to you guys. But it really felt like you guys just became one of the biggest strengths for this team.
Yeah. I thought like everybody, like, I don't know, MLB Network did a little like segment about our bullpen, and I think there's a lot of truth to that, where like there's different guys throwing from different arm slots, and you're getting different
Big
looks, and like, I throw a little more over the top. Paul throws from, a little lower arm slot, and then like Joe, Ryan Thompson, Saul Frank, like Castro. There's so many guys in the bullpen that kind of do different things, and when they go out there for their spot, like you can't really sit on anything because maybe the next time up, you're going to get someone else. I just thought like it really helped, just the way we pitched like the last month or two of the season, and then going into the playoffs. Yeah, I felt like we just developed some confidence along the way.
Goofiest guy in the bullpen?
Oh, man,
who do we got?
I mean, I'm quirky for sure, but I mean, me and Paulie are pretty quirky. Honestly, everybody's got their own little quirks. Ryan Thompson's pretty quirky. But like, yeah, for the most part, like we're bullpen guys. Like we do things a little differently. Like you got to be able to like turn on and off really quickly. Sometimes like you'll get hot to go in the game, and then you get shut down, and then it might happen again. So it's tough, but we're all kind of weird in our own ways, I guess.
That's fantastic. Speaking of trades with Seattle, Eugenio Suarez comes over from Seattle. We've heard he's a great clubhouse guy. They sound very upset to lose him, but that makes us that much more excited for Gino to come here. But
have you talked with Seawald about Suarez?
I haven't yet. I haven't.
Okay.
I should reach out to him and see how he's doing. I think I saw the trade, and I think it will be an asset for sure. I don't know a ton about Eugenio Suarez, but I like from what I've heard he's great with the guys in the clubhouse, and I think he will bring some veteran leadership to our team, and I think it's a good move. We'll have to wait and see, but I know obviously Paul and him played together in Seattle, so I think that'll kind of help bridge the gap.
A lot of Mariners fans say they're converting.
Right?
D-backs
we're
fans,
turning into Seattle Mariners.
All right, I'll take it. But we thank you guys for being here, of course, on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe, obviously, if you haven't done so already. Love it if you leave us a like. Make sure to sign up for notifications. There's Gabby telling you to leave us a like. If you're on the audio podcasting side, make sure to leave us a review. We always appreciate that. And of course, subscribe over there as well. If you, of course, need to stop and fill yourself up, check out Circle K. It's America's Thirst Stop. Fill up your car, fill up yourself. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups right now if you join their Inner Circle program for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. Of course, they'll also give you all sorts of wonderful freebies through email. You'll save 3 cents per gallon every day after your first 5 fill-ups, and you'll get free pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks, so much more. So sign up today for that Inner Circle program. Of course, also, if you have not checked out BetMGM yet, you know it makes sports more fun. Place your first BetMGM sportsbook wager through the mobile application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. All you have to do is download the app on iOS or Android, or visit betmgm.com and sign up with our code of PHNX. Deposit $10 or more into your newly created account and use that $10 or more at a standard odds price. Once you have placed that qualifying bet, you will receive $200 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your wager. Sign up for BetMGM today. Use that bonus code of PHNX and place that first sportsbook wager through the mobile application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now here is Shane to talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
The voice.
All right. Well, we got a question here in the chat, and I'm curious about this too. With the New Jerseys, which one?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite yourself?
Ooh, I like the grays, honestly.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah. I like the
Grays.
gray. It's got like the old D-back logo on it. I like those. I think the home whites will be cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like teal everything now.
Yeah,
It's like teal in pretty much every jersey. But the road ones, they just look like the old school look, I guess, but it's not. I don't know. So,
I'm always a fan of the road grays myself.
Yeah,
I like the road
everybody.
grays.
I don't know. We see it. Everybody would want us to wear the purple and stuff again. But
oh yeah,
you know, I do think these uniforms would be cool.
This is, and one thing we talked about with it is it gives you guys like this generation of Diamondbacks players like your own look, you know, and that's something that's cool, especially with what you guys were able to accomplish in the World Series. But you obviously have had, you know, an incredible journey getting to this point. And I know, Jesse, you had questions about that.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've talked about this a little bit. You said didn't have any big scholarship offers or anything out of high school. You wind up going to Southwestern College, right?
Yeah.
There for a couple years. You eventually get a D1 opportunity at U of A.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just an incredible journey to get to the point where you are now. I mean, not that many guys drafted in the 22nd round wind up, you know, throwing 11 2/3 scoreless innings in a World Series run. It's pretty incredible.
I've always loved the game. I've always had a passion for it. And you know, I've always had, you know, an arm. Like I've always been gifted with an arm, and I just felt like for me, you know, just kind of moving up the ranks, right? Like I didn't really pay attention to, you know, what people were talking about me, I guess. Like I knew I wasn't the first round pick. I knew I wasn't that guy, but I felt like for me, I just carried a chip on my shoulder, and you know, I feel like that propelled me. I think the more each level I kind of moved up, where, you know, pitching at junior college for a couple of years and then going to U of A and, you know, playing in the College World Series, getting that opportunity, and then getting drafted by, you know, I guess like the local team, and playing in the minors and just kind of getting acclimated to pro ball. I never got that big signing bonus, but I felt like I had, you know, the support and love from my family and my friends, and I was doing something I loved to do, and I just kind of had to keep believing and keep working, and not really get deterred by, you know, what else was going on around me.
What kind of role did your family play just in this journey?
Yeah. You know, my mom was a huge piece in this. Like my dad traveled a lot for work, and you know, my mom in Little League was like team mom, like head scorekeeper and stuff. And like she was pretty involved. And now my dad's around more too. So he follows and keeps track of everything. But, you know, I think it started from like a young age, and, you know, I think with my family, they've always just supported me. Like they've always supported me in whatever I do. And, you know, I've always loved baseball, and it's always been in my life. And so they always kind of just embraced it and were like, whatever you want to do, we're good with. So, I would not be here without them, for sure.
The baseball journey seems more difficult than most other sports, and it almost feels like you do have to have that passion and that love for the game of baseball in order to kind of stick through some of the ups and downs that it takes. But like you've shown, I mean, this is still the road that can get you here.
Yeah. It's not like football. It's not like basketball. Like you have to go through, you know, the minor leagues, right? And just kind of prove yourself. But I think it's for me, it's just a challenge, I guess, right? Where it's like, okay, like how do I showcase myself to get the look, I guess, from, you know, the organization. And, you know, I kind of worked up into, you know, I was in like the top 30 prospects when I was, I think in like 2018. So I, you know, I was starting to get on the map a little bit, and it took a little while for me to get there. But I just thought that, you know, the journey is the, you know, the fun part, I guess, and the different, you know, guys you meet along the way and different people you meet in the organization. And then, you know, just getting the call up, right. It's every young guy's dream. So
your slider is obviously a huge part of your game and what makes you so effective out there. Can you just kind of give us an idea of how that pitch has developed over time and how it got to be what it is today?
Yeah. It's been a lot of work, and, you know, hearing from different people, just about the pitch. Like I said, you know, when I first got into pro ball, it wasn't really a true slider. it was more like a slur, but like in college, it was an effective pitch for me. And so I just kind of had to really tinker and like focus and like figure out how do I make this pitch better? Because this can be an asset. And I was thrown in, you know, a spring training when I was in the minors, and I was getting a lot of swings and misses on it. It wasn't as firm or as hard as it is now, but I'm like, okay, this could be a really good pitch for me.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of had to keep going and not really, you know, get distracted. Obviously, my numbers in the minors, I had really good numbers in the minors. And so I just felt like I was gaining confidence with the pitch. And then I think once I got into the big leagues, you can get exposed with a lot of stuff. And my first year I had a lot of success, and then I kind of went through some struggles in the last few years. But I just felt like I needed to, you know, accept, you know, whatever was going on and just be like, all right, how do I need to be better with this pitch in this spot and like facing different guys. So, yeah, it's it's my weapon for sure. But, I think for me, it's just a confidence thing.
Next thing you know, you're throwing more sliders than fastballs, right?
Right. I you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, I don't want to get too far into like what I'm doing, but
sure. We're not giving anything away.
We're not giving any secrets.
Scouting going on.
But yeah, with that pitch, using it in certain spots and like, you know, just getting the hitter off balance because I feel like it's a weapon for me.
Yeah.
Was there a certain coach like along the way at some point who kind of helped you unlock that pitch? I know you mentioned the transition from a slurve to more of a true slider.
So, yeah, I was in. I kind of remember it actually. I was in High A. I was in Visalia, and Jeff Bajanero, who's now one of the AAA pitching coaches, was showing me a grip, and I was playing with it in the bullpen, and I was starting to see, you know, the shape and the movement kind of take place. And I thought, you know, it kind of developed more as I was pitching and just getting stronger and like seeing how the pitch, you know, develop. But yeah, I felt like he was a huge piece. And then like other pitching coaches I've met along the way, you know, I've been with this organization now a long time. So yeah, Barry Enright, who's now at the Angels, but he's a huge piece. Obviously, Brent Strom's well known, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably leaving some people off. Doug Drapeck. But, yeah, no, there's been a lot of coaches that have helped me with that pitch, and you know, listening and like knowing what my strengths and weaknesses are pretty important. So yeah,
you bring up Brent Strom, and we wanted to definitely ask you about him because. Yeah. He seems like a legend. He seems like an enigma. He's just a wild guy that at times says some of our favorite things in press conferences. Yeah. But what kind of impact did he have on you just in regards to coaching and what kind of impact does he have on you during like a game if he comes out and talks to you on the mound?
Yeah. I said it a while back. I just feel like he does an incredibly good job with having that personal connection with you. And it's different from player to player. You know,
that's what we've heard that he's like, some people he'll go out and tell a joke to or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he like,
he does. Yeah. He does. Like it's, I don't want to take his magic, but yeah, it's like, just like this, he brings a certain kind of energy. Sometimes I want to hear it. Sometimes I don't, but, you know, like there's times where when he talks, he believes what he's saying and he tells you how, you know, hey, you know, whatever the case may be, I feel like he just brings a calming presence to a lot of things. Yeah. And I think that helps guys get back on track whenever it's a mound visit or, you know, if he just wants to, you know, shoot the shit and, you know, whatever. So.
Did he ever tell you an especially good joke when you like during a mound visit or anything?
No, he doesn't. Like, he'll go over like strategy and stuff with me, but
sure,
nothing off the top of my head. Usually he'll joke with me like if we're playing catch. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. During a game would be
it's tough. Yeah, like you know, maybe other guys are different, but yeah, when like before the game, like he'll throw some stuff at me, but
Sure.
yeah, no, it's good though.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys again for being here. Diehards, we always appreciate you and thank you. Of course, if you're not a diehard yet, make sure to grab that diehard membership today. Get yourself a free t-shirt from the PHNXlocker.com, like this beauty I'm wearing right now. Of course, you also get access to Jesse's newsletter. You get access to our Discord lounge and so much more. So make sure to sign up for a diehard membership today. Of course, Arizona Lottery holiday scratchers make the absolute perfect gift this holiday season. Whether you're a procrastinator like Mr. Friedman over here, or whether you're like me and you plan out ahead, get yourself some stocking stuffers, get yourself last minute gifts, get yourself whatever you need. They make a perfect gift this holiday season. There's a scratchers for everyone on your list, and they start out at just $1. Top prizes can reach up to $500,000. So what better gift is there than giving someone potentially $500,000? Go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. Also, check out our friends at Hero Bread. They make bread that is, of course, just as delicious as some of the alternative, the good breads. You know, there's those breads out there, the ones we love, but they are just not nearly as good for us as far as dietary restrictions are concerned and health needs. So Hero Bread makes the same kind of delicious bread, but they do it better than any of their other competitor. They obviously offer high fiber options. They offer ultra low net carb options, zero sugar, and more. And again, they're still fluffy, still bread, still taste delicious. So check them out, available at hero.co or on Amazon. Right now, Hero Bread is offering our listeners 10% off their first order. Just go to hero.co and use code PHNX to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10%. All right. Well, we know you've been doing some great things here in the community in the Valley. We saw some signings you did. We also know that you were doing some work with the food bank.
Give a postseason jersey away. It was a raffle raising money for St. Mary's Food Bank.
You know,
We have the winners here.
Yeah, I posted that, and for me, I just felt like, you know, I collect so much stuff throughout the season, and I wanted a few things, obviously, and with the World Series and like the postseason and stuff, I just felt like I wanted to give something back. I didn't know how, and I got in touch with the D-backs organization, and you know, we raised some money for a good cause, and you know, families got to have Thanksgiving, I guess, here in the Valley. So
yeah, St. Mary's was doing some great stuff with like opposing cities, doing a little with whatever you guys were playing in the playoffs and stuff like that. So it was fun to see that.
It was cool, and I just felt like, you know, it was the right time too, with Thanksgiving rolling around, and you know, I know we didn't win the World Series, but you know, I felt like, you know, this was a cool moment, and you know, someone gets a chance to, you know, wear one of my jerseys. So yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that briefly, because I know we didn't really talk about it, and I just want to get your thoughts. It seems like obviously the end result wasn't desirable. Like you want to win the championship, but is there something you guys take away, obviously, from, you know, kind of the unexpected run? And again, like, I'm sure you guys have all the confidence throughout the season about getting to the playoffs and whatever happens once you're there. Obviously, you guys proved that, right? That as long as you get in, you can make something happen. But it felt like, even though, you know, you guys didn't win the World Series, like it was still just such a wonderful accomplishment that you guys were able to do what you did in the postseason with all of those kind of preconceived expectations.
Yeah, it was special. You know, I think in left center they have, you know, all the little pennants, I guess, like for the organization. And yeah, I mean, one World Series championship, which is pretty special. But you know, we're going to be adding a National League championship banner, I guess. And that's super unique. And it's, you know, the D-backs are, I guess, like a young organization, but I just felt like, you know, that this, however far we went, it was a huge accomplishment. And it's just like, the more we kept moving on and, you know, getting to the World Series, you can't take that stuff away. And no one can ever say that you didn't play on the biggest stage, or you, you know, didn't, I don't know, do what you wanted to, I guess. But yeah, everybody's goal is to win a World Series. I think we're hungry for more, at least I am. And I think we've got bright future ahead of us. So, who knows what happens? You know, I don't want to put that on our belt that we're going to win the World Series, but I think we can definitely compete with the best.
It's definitely exciting because it doesn't feel like, a lot of times when you have a team do this, like, all right, this was a year. They have to do something next year. Like like there's a sense of urgency.
Sure.
It feels like your guys' window just opened, and that this team can be exciting and fun to watch and competitive for a number of years to come.
Yeah, I just it starts at the top. You got Gallon and Merrill, right?
Yeah.
You got 2 horses, and then I think honestly, I can say it now. I think we got one of the best players in baseball. I think Corbin Carroll is that guy.
Yeah.
And unbelievable teammate. And he's so young, and he wants to learn, and he wants to get better, and then you got other pieces around too, like Alec Thomas, Perdomo, and then it's just like I said, there's a blend of young guys and veteran guys. Sometimes as veteran guys, like we got to put the young guys in their place in time, but
It's your job.
yeah, right. But I just feel like I feel like we can run it back again, and who knows what the end result is. So
gotta finish up with some fun stuff here. We've had some very spirited Phoenix versus Tucson conversation.
Especially
I'm in
this
hostile
office.
territory up here.
Yeah, so I certainly would never have slandered Tucson on the show, but I have to get your opinion on what it was like spending some time there versus being up here now.
It was great. I was there for a year when I transferred, but when I went to school there, it was so fun. I thought the campus was great, and I was about like 10 minutes from campus, but I live up here now, so it's a little different. But
Sure.
I think when I went to school there, it was one of the best experiences I've had, just because you kind of get a little everything. Big sports programs. They've had history obviously with the basketball program, and now the football program's making a little run this year, which is nice.
There you go.
I really enjoyed my time there, and I still try and keep in touch with a lot of guys down there. So
The Phoenix, the city, better than Tucson, the city, right?
Can
we all agree here?
Man. There's perks with both. Yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I like the foothills out there. You can go hike Mount Lemons. Mount Lemons beautiful.
Mount Lemons, yeah. Very true.
But yeah, people are always going to riff with me about like Tucson. I'm like, look, I live in Phoenix now. All right, like I guess I jumped ship, but it's I loved it there though.
All right, I got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. We're titling this "Who in the Clubhouse Would." So I want to check who in the clubhouse would you trust to cook for you? Is there anybody that's
I'd love to talk shop with him more. Christian Walker.
Yes,
That's very believable.
That's very believable.
I haven't had a sit down conversation with him, but he's from South Carolina, or he lives out there, and he loves to barbecue. So I'm sure he's got some recipes with barbecue.
Yes.
Yeah, he would be my go-to.
All right. Who in the clubhouse would you trust to share your Amazon account with? That's a lot of privacy. There's a lot of secret share when you share a Amazon account.
Amazon. I guess I'm biased with pitchers.
That's fine. That's allowed here.
I'd probably go Joe Manaply.
Yeah.
I think Joe's good with that stuff.
Solid, trustworthy guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
any little stuff he's aware of. So
that's awesome. All right. Who in the clubhouse are you paying a 2-drink minimum to see do stand-up comedy? Who is going to get up on the stage and rock it as far as the jokes are concerned?
Now if I see him, I'm gonna I'll have to say something to him. But I like there's so many interesting dynamics in the clubhouse. Like different guys have different sense of humor. But
that's true. We've determined that Damon and I's sense of humor do not link up with Jesse's.
I think that's a hard question. That's a hard question. Different guys have different sense of humor. I think one of the funnier guys, I won't say he'll do stand-up comedy, Scott McGuff's very funny.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's go.
That's me
amazing.
and him, we're locker mates, so we banter back and forth with stuff. But he's one of the more funnier ones for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, We had a lot of fun watching you this year, man. And
Thank you.
we were very much looking forward to what this team does in 2024. But we know you need some time away to get away. We're going to let you get out of here so you can go enjoy this very short offseason that you guys have.
Offseason is very
Yeah,
short.
like is that been? Like,
We're
is that
complaining
a good
about
problem?
it too.
Yeah, I think it's a mindset thing for sure. You definitely need to like take some time off with this, and so for me, I need to like turn off for a little bit and just enjoy my freedom for the little time I get.
There you go. Well, we want you to do that, and we appreciate you so much for stopping by. Of course, we appreciate you guys for stopping by. Make sure, of course, you check out all of our partners, but of course, this holiday season, a great gift is to check out our friends at Shady Rays. It's premium polarized sunglasses that are built to last. They are just as good as expensive sunglasses without the extremely expensive cost. They also offer the most insane protection plan in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your Shady Rays, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. They have your back long after you purchase. Of course, you can shop their location here in town at Kierland Commons, and if you do not love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them or return them for free within 30 days. No risk at all when you shop. Right now, Shady Rays is currently in the biggest sale of the year for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all of that. Don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And again, I know this time of the year you're spending a lot of money, and a good place to make sure your money is located is at Desert Financial Credit Union. For 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. They got me started on my home ownership journey, and they can get you started as well. Look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. You can join them today. You can join a credit union that is committed to giving back to the community and sharing success with its members. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. And who can't use a free $200 right now? So make sure to check them out. Again, we thank you guys so much for stopping by. We appreciate you. We appreciate this guy more than that. We appreciate him. You guys are here all the time. He's a special guest. But of course, you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Kevin is on Instagram at Ginks37 there if you want to follow him. Of course, the people's producer, Damon, he is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We do this thing where we bark we're all Damon's dogs, and you are now initiated at Damon Dog. So we're all Damon's dogs. So you just can bark in your own way. It's just roof.
Bark,
go, guys. Bark. All right. Everybody barking in. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys, of course, for being here. Of course, make sure to stop back by tomorrow. I'm going on vacation for one single day, but Jesse will be here holding it down with Patrick Lyons tomorrow. In the meantime, you can follow our account at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you again for stopping by. We appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you're Kevin Ginkel.
We all silly like the mayor.